Now, this year's Black History Month is about to enter its final week. For many, it seemed to hold added significance this year, as recent demonstrations on racial equality have caused us to reflect on our colonial past. It has also led to people exploring their roots, which for some has led to a spiritual shift. And Sofa Kangwa went to investigate.
For centuries, Africa, like many places, has had its own indigenous spiritual practices and faiths. But along with colonialism came a message that these belief systems weren't as sophisticated as the religions we are more familiar with today, and some turned away from them towards faiths like Christianity. But for some people, that spiritual journey is being reversed. With a new sense of empowerment and connection to the past, a growing number of people are turning away from the faith they inherited at birth and are exploring the traditional faith systems that were practiced by their ancestors. One of these faith systems is Ifa, based on a blend of indigenous beliefs, legends, proverbs and songs. Although not officially recognised as a religion here, it has been practiced by the Yoruba people in West Africa for generations. At the heart of the UK movement is Dr. Michelle Yar Asantwa.
The Ifa system is a way of life. It's about the individual trying to understand themselves, to understand who they are and to find their destiny and their path.
What have you seen happening recently, closer to home, here in the UK?
I've seen an increase in people wanting to practice African spirituality.
This belief system focuses on three components: Olodumare, the creator of heaven and earth, the ancestors, and the nature spirits, of which there are various gods and goddesses.
And Oshun is the goddess of healing, of fertility, of abundance, of love, of joy. So the individual might go to Oshun because they want those things to manifest in their life. We do a ritual where we go to the river to honour Oshun, and that has grown in interest, especially young people, very much interested in understanding and taking part in ritual.
Two of these younger members of the Ifa faith are Iola and Naomi. Both were brought up in Christian families, but have recently turned to a belief system they feel relates more closely to them.
Well, without a doubt, there's been definitely a very powerful paradigm shift throughout the globe, and I think people have really been so oppressed that they're looking for answers, looking for meaning, looking for belonging. And so with all the trigger and the trauma and the crisis, it's actually literally brought us to a crossroads where we're searching for answers, and that is leading some people to look deeper into their spirituality.
I've been affected by racism throughout my whole life. So when I'm being told to go back to where I come from, even though I was born here, it forces you to go, to ask the questions, to discover your background.
African Indigenous spirituality isn't limited to pockets of devoted followers. It's very firmly making its way through to mainstream Western media and pop culture. Beyoncé gave a nod to goddess Oshun, a river deity and goddess of femininity and love, in her album Lemonade. And Marvel Universe blockbuster Black Panther featured scenes where the protagonist meets his late father in their ancestral plane.
The revolution will be live.
But despite the resurgence of these faith systems, they don't have legal recognition as religions here. Hello.
Hello.
And Stephen Chan, OBE, Professor of World Politics, thinks there's a long road ahead before that changes. How do you see this kind of inclusion and acceptance developing in the future?
Anyone can claim to be spiritually enlightened and try to develop a following, but it's going to be like in many other places, like in India, for instance, where it's going to take some time for those who claim to be spiritually aware actually to prove that they've got something to offer their congregations. This process is going to continue, but the next key stage is development of doctrine and belief and organisation that people find credible.
Only time will tell if Ifa and the many other spiritual beliefs now being embraced by a new generation are successful in gaining official recognition in the UK.